Hello everyone, it's me Sarah. Welcome to my channel, A Curious Cuttlefish. Today I'm going to show you a tutorial on how to make one of these bath poofs. Hello all, welcome to my channel. Today we are doing a tutorial on making one of these bath poofs. So I recommend you use 100% cotton. I do have this one here, which is made with Red Heart Super Saver yarn, so you can use acrylic. It's best if you have a yarn that is machine washable and dryable, that wise they're easy to clean and reuse. What you will need, this one was Lily Sugar and Cream, this one was Peaches and Cream. I'm using Premier Home Cotton for today's tutorial, and you will need a 5mm crochet hook along with some scissors to cut the end of your project and a tapestry needle to weave in your ends. So let me get my camera set up and let's get started on this project. Alrighty everyone, so I'm going to be showing you how to crochet that bath poof. I am using a 5mm hook, and I have a ball of Premier's it's the Home Cotton. So I'm just using one ball of it for this project. So take your cotton, we're going to begin with a slip knot. Slip this on our hook. And now this starting chain is making the long loop that goes onto the bath puff. And so you can adjust the number of chains. I did a chain 20. So let's do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. So now that we have our chain 20, let me get this focus a little better. There. So now that we have our chain 20 right here, we are going to go back to the beginning and do a slip stitch into our first chain. So there's our slip stitch. So this right here is going to be your little handle. You can make it longer or shorter, however you like. I do 20. Okay, then we're going to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you have 4 chains here, and we're going to go back and slip stitch into the first of those 4 chains. So very close to where you did the slip stitch prior. So now what we're going to have, it's almost like an 8. There's a little hole here, and then this is our handle. Okay, so that's how we're starting off. And now in this space right here, we're going to chain 2. This is not counting as a stitch. So keep that in mind when we're counting our stitches for this next part. That does not count as a stitch. I want to work 10 half double crochets into this little chain 4 ring that we just created. We're going to work around this handle. So just pretend like that handle right here is not there. So yarn over, make sure that you're working right into the center of this loop. So there's 1 half double crochet. We're going to keep going and get 10 in there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4. And go on the other side of my handle. 5. Oops. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we have 10. Remember that the first chain 2 does not count as a stitch, so we're going to slip stitch into the first of those stitches right here, slip stitch. Alright, so that's our first row. You have your handle here and our 10 half double crochets, and you should have a nice little circle right here. Okay, moving on to row number 2. So row 2, these are half double crochets as well. You're in chain 2. Remember, this does not count as a stitch. We are now going to work 4 half double crochets into each of the double crochets previously. So we should have 40 stitches at the end of this row. So I just did 1. So it'll be 2, 3, and 4 into that first one. Sorry for the background noise, Mr. Cuttlefish is sick. Alright, 4 in this next one. 1, 2, oops, 3, and 4. So now you'll notice that because we're putting so many stitches into each of these stitches, you want to make sure you're not skipping a stitch, and it will start to ruffle. That is what we want it to do. Okay, next stitch, we're going to do 4. So just continue this pattern all the way around until we get to that last stitch. We're going to be doing 4 half double crochets into each stitch. You should have 40. Alright, so finish up this row. I will show you what mine looks like once I get to the end, and I'll join and we can start on row 3. Okay, so I'm finishing up here. I am going to do a slip stitch into the top of my first half double crochet, and so if your pattern is not starting to ruffle, you can help it along by just spreading out those stitches just like this, stretching them and spreading them. I'm just going to continue to do this all the way around. So now, if you look, it's starting to get rather wavy. That's what we want. Okay, so now we're on our third row. So for our third row, we're going to chain 3. And now in each of the stitches, starting with this first one where you did the slip stitch, we are going to be doing 5 double crochets into each stitch. And by doing 5 double crochets, it's going to make this ruffle even more than what it already is. So let's see, there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. So that was the first one right there. Now you always want to make sure that you're not skipping stitches because, let's see if this is focused there, right there. Because as you start filling and going around, once you have the 5 double crochets in each of the half double crochets, you're going to start to notice that it's going to start to take over. You want to make sure that you're not skipping stitches, otherwise your bath poof won't be as full as it could be. If you don't want your bath poof that full, then it's okay if you skip over a few stitches. If you want it very full, you can add another stitch or 2, so instead of 5, do 6. But the number I really like is 5 stitches. So let's do 5 double crochets in this next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So as you can see, that's just 2. It wants to ruffle, that's what we want it to do. So make sure I'm not skipping this stitch right here, not skipping it. We want to go in there and do 5 double crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So I've done my first 3 stitches. You can see it's starting to wiggle around because you already have this ruffle going. We're going to do 5 stitches in each of these half double crochets all the way around, and I'll join you once we are back to this beginning to finish off this row. This is where it gets very full, and you can start, I'll show you how I shape it so that it becomes more of that ball shape. But again, for this 3rd row, go around and do 5 double crochets into each half double crochet stitch. Alright, I'll come back and join you in a bit. Okay, so here I am. I just did my last stitch with 5 double crochets in it. I am now going to join to the top of my first double crochet with a slip stitch. And so now if you look, you should have somewhat of a ball shape. At this point, I just start from where I had my join, and I'm just gonna open up a lot of these stitches, spread them out, and as you do this, by opening up these stitches, right, we're pulling them apart so they're not all clumped together. Then we can also twist this bath poof as a whole, and that'll make it more round. So remember, this is very, you want it to be very organic and free-flowing, so don't feel like there needs to be any particular pattern here. You're just stretching out all those stitches that you just made so that it takes up a lot. You're expanding the space. So there we go. That went all the way around now. And so now I'm just twisting it and fluffing it up. So this fits in the palm of my hand. This is the end of our 3rd row. Let's see if I can find here, right here. Nope, that's not it. Should be able, there it is. So this is where it'll hang from. It's about this size, and if you want a really small one, I'm sure you can stop at this row. I do a 4th row, so let's get started on our 4th row, and that will complete this project. If you want a big one, of course you can continue and do a 5th row, but for mine, I just do this 4th row. So we're going to chain 2. So we have a chain 2 right there. And into this first one, we're going to do 2 half double crochets. 1, 2 half double crochets into this stitch. The next one, we're going to do 3 half double crochets. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to alternate every stitch. It's going to be 2 half double crochets in the next. 1, 2, and 3 half double crochets in the one after. 1, 2, 3. So we're going to go 2, 3, 2, 3 all the way around. So that was 3, so this is 2 and 3 in this next one. And once you complete this row, that's it, and you will have made the bath poof. So just keep going. Do 2 and then 3, 2, 3. I will join you back once I am back at the beginning, and then we will fluff this up one more time, and I'll show you what it looks like once we've made it all the way around. Okay, so I have finished going around doing 3 half doubles and then 2 half doubles, 3 half double, 2 half double. So now I'm right at the end here. You want to join with the slip stitch into your first half double crochet. Let me just try to get my hook in there. There we go. Join with our slip stitch. And now this is where you're going to want to get your scissors to cut and then pull through. So what I do Here's the top, right? I just kind of fluff this up, move it around, so we have a nice poof. And this is what it looks like when it's complete. So you finish your 4th row, you just want to cut the string right here. We're gonna pull our end through. I need to go grab some scissors, one moment. Okay, I have my scissors. So I am just going to cut my end. We are going to pull that through our final loop, make a knot. You then want to get a yarn needle and then just weave your end into your bath poof. And the nice thing about this is because it is 100% cotton, you can easily throw it into the washer and then the dryer whenever you need to clean it, and it'll be good to go. So I still have about this much left over from the yarn that I was using. So it's only a 1 ball project, which is great. And yes, I love that it's cotton, so it makes these very practical and usable. So thank you so much for joining me for this tutorial. I hope you really enjoyed it. Hope you learned how to make something new, and hopefully you guys have enough time to make some of these before Christmas. Alright, so I will be seeing you soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Bye.